For the past few months, I've really been prioritizing creating a fitness routine and feeling stronger. And I feel like I'm finally in a place where I can share with you what I've been doing. If you know me, you know I've had a weight loss journey. All in all, I've probably lost about 80 pounds, though I seldom weigh myself. Since losing that significant amount of weight in college, my weight has continued to fluctuate throughout different stressful periods of my life. And weight fluctuation is completely normal, but mine is pretty severe. I'm talking we're up 20 to 30 pounds, we're down, we're all around. So this year, I sort of took a hard look at myself and realized that what I want most of all is some stability. I want to be in control of my body, not the other way around. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. And for the first time in my entire 26 years of living, I feel strong. And it's an amazing feeling. It is it's hard to put into words what genuinely feeling muscle on your body and feeling capable feels like, but it's super empowering. So I'm going to share with you guys what I've been doing. If topics like eating, calorie counting, weight gain, weight loss, exercise, etc. may be triggering for you, it might be best to click off this video. Otherwise, for the rest of my goals, I've been feeling particularly sensitive to comments about my body from both people on the internet as well as people in my real life. So please be patient with me as I continue to navigate this. I struggle with body dysmorphia, so it's hard for me to conceptualize what my body looks like, and you guys are a third-party, objective perspective. So just try and be patient with me and understand where I'm coming from. I also want to note that I've been actively working towards this for over 6 months, so though it may seem drastic on social media when you see a post from me every 2 weeks, there's been a lot of time and energy and effort behind the scenes, but I want to assure you that I've been doing everything healthily and what feels good for me. One more disclaimer. Can you tell I'm sensitive about this subject? Please don't criticize me for losing weight. I am, and I always have been, body positive. Just because my body looks different now doesn't mean that changes who I am. I think I may have made a mistake posting to social media focused solely around what my body looks like, because it's great for representation and people relating to me, but when my body has changed, I've received some flack and some upsetting comments, honestly. But my body is my own and your body is your own, and I will continue to preach do what is best for you. I don't mind talking about fitness and weight loss. I actually think I'm quite knowledgeable on the subject, but I don't appreciate any negativity about my body or me. So please be respectful. I am a human, and a sensitive human at that. One of the main takeaways from this health journey that I've been on is health is wealth. There is no greater blessing than existing in a healthy body, and I am thankful for it every day. I've made the decisions that I will talk about in this video for the benefit of my personal well-being, and I am not critical of how anyone else decides how to live their life. I have to say, since consistently working out, I feel powerful. I feel confident. I feel strong. I feel capable. I feel happy. I'm not afraid to try new things, and I'm not just talking about physical activity things. Finding a routine that has worked for my body is changing my life in the most magical way possible. My skin is better. My relationships are better. I can move my body with ease. There's this certain glow to me. It's amazing. It's amazing what we can do. And this is something that I never thought that I could do for whatever reason. I wasn't a very active kid. I was always the last in the mile, always picked last for any sports team, or I just wasn't athletically inclined. So in my adult life, to find something that makes me happy and works for me is amazing. And I cannot emphasize this enough that I feel strong for the first time ever. I can feel muscle on my arms, on my back, my abs. Who is she? It feels really, really cool to feel strong. And I am really proud of myself. I've put a lot of hard work in and have done a lot of challenging things. So let me share a little bit about my journey. If there's one lesson that you take away from this entire video, it is this. The key is consistency. We are talking about a lifestyle change, so the results you want will not happen in the span of a week. It's going to take days, it's going to take months, it's going to take years to form the sustainable lifestyle change. No matter if you eat over your calorie limit, no matter if you miss a workout, no matter what, you get back on the horse. There will be mistakes. We are human after all. We are bound to make mistakes, but stressing yourself out and worrying about them does so much more harm than the actual mistake itself. Keep pushing forward, allow yourself to make mistakes, and just keep going. As someone who frequently gets caught up in the binge and restrict cycle, previously, if I made a mistake, I would just throw the entire day away and overeat by a ton, or just choose to rot in my bed because I felt so sad about it. But it is up to you to make the choice to keep showing up for yourself. And I mean this in the most gentle way possible. I'm not trying to gym bro out on you. It can be a gentle and loving decision. Another gym broified term, but what they say about locking in is so true. To have a transformation like the one I've had, you gotta put your head down. You've gotta drown out the outside noise and focus on yourself. This could mean socially, this could mean work-wise. If you keep close tabs on my social media, you might have noticed that I've been posting quite a bit less. That's because I have been establishing some hopefully lifelong habits and changing the direction of my life. So like I mentioned earlier, and if you're already familiar with me and my content, you know that I've struggled with binge eating. Food has always been my comfort. I've leaned on it heavily, and it has become a very unhealthy coping mechanism. Probably from puberty up until this year have I been in a binge and restrict cycle. After I ate a lot, I would restrict myself, which would again just lead to more binging, just a constant vicious cycle. So I'm going to share with you how I have been course correcting that. So I did start tracking my calories again. I use the app MyFitnessPal. It's what I've used before, and I'm pretty good about not getting very obsessive about things. I just use it to generally estimate how much I'm eating. I find it to be a very useful tool for calculating my macros and just learning about how calorically dense some foods can be. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. It's as simple as that. It's calories in versus calories out. You need to be burning more calories than you're eating, and the fat will slowly come off. And again, we are not going for extremes here. They need to be reasonable deficits. A good place to start is about 500 calories less than your maintenance. In the description, I will link a maintenance calorie calculator so you can enter your gender, your weight, your height, etc., and it should give you an estimate of how much you burn in a day. You can barely be moving your body, but as long as you're eating less than what you're burning, you will still lose weight. Of course, movement is still very important nonetheless. Everyone is different with how they eat, but personally, I am someone who needs to eat every few hours or else I get hangry, my mind gets cloudy. I would prefer a bunch of little meals throughout the day versus 2 ginormous meals. A big focus for me has been eating primarily whole foods, things that come straight from the earth, things that have low ingredients. The only processed thing I really eat are protein bars because I'm a vegetarian and it's very hard for me to get the right amount of protein. So I do lean on those, and honestly, they're like candy bars. They're amazing and I love them. But as someone who needs to eat relatively frequently, I still want to feel satisfied from what I'm eating. So I load my meals up with a lot of vegetables. This is something called volume eating. It's sort of like getting the best bang for your buck. You get the most amount of food for the least amount of calories. So foods like vegetables, obviously they're super good for you and they're super low in calories. So you can eat as many pieces of broccoli as you want. Vegetables are going to be your best friend, and they're also great for fiber. Everyone's always talking protein, protein, protein. We also need quite a bit of fiber, so do not sleep on the veggies. Another game changer for me has been finding lower calorie alternatives. For example, switching to low carb tortillas or sugar-free syrup, Diet Coke, things like that. Am I worried that the artificial sweeteners are carcinogenic? Yes, I am. It's tough out here, y'all. It is. I'm trying my best. I try not to overdo it with the faux sugar items, but they certainly are helping me along this journey. Also, for my little sweet treat at night, I have been obsessed with Yasso yogurt bars. They're these little ice cream bars, and they're decently sized for the calorie count. They're super delicious. check them out. I think if you're an especially obsessive person, you have to put some safeguards in to make sure your calorie counting stays healthy and sort of be on top of yourself to ensure you're not getting wacky with it. Very rarely do I measure anything. I just generally use it as sort of like a visualization tool to see what I'm consuming. But in general, it's been super beneficial for me to help stay on track. And I will not always be eating in a deficit. Once you reach your goal weight, you will eat in a maintenance. So that's higher calories. I personally do not own a scale. I hate weighing myself. If anything's gonna make me obsessive, it's a scale, and it's getting like obsessive with that number. But theoretically, once you reach your goal weight is when you can go to your maintenance. Really, what calorie counting is about is just to help you understand nutrients and how calorically dense some foods can be. It's honestly just a good lesson to sort of realize how much you're actually consuming, and it makes me reflect how much I've been consuming in the past. So yeah, just a little food for thought. Even if you don't track every meal, just generally getting an idea of what you're eating can be really useful. Let's talk quickly about mental health. If you've watched any of my other weight loss or fitness videos, the same exact topics are just sort of regurgitated, but I seem to learn new things every single time. So let's talk about mental health. I don't want to share too much of this because I am protecting my private life. Long story short, remove negative people from your life. If there is someone in your life that is just constantly having drama, having huge reactions, is emotionally volatile, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. My lesson is to be extremely protective of yourself and your energy, especially if you lean more introverted like me. There's not a lot of extra energy to go around. Energy vampires love me, girl. They love me. I am a recovering people pleaser, so I am firming up my boundaries, and I'm still learning how to enforce them without fear. But upon reflection, I think people really take advantage of my kindness and my empathy. But really, at the end of the day, you are your only protector. You need to be looking out for yourself. If you notice someone makes you feel bad, get them out of your life, babe. Get them out of your life, leave them behind, put up whatever boundaries you can. Since going through a lot of traumatic shit with my family as a young child, today I'm a super mature, super stable person, and people who struggle with emotional immaturity fawn to me. I'm a calming individual, I'm kind, and they just cling to me like glue. And of course, everything works both ways. It's because I didn't instill harsher boundaries. But this has been a big old lesson for little old Kendall, but you need to be in the right place mentally to be able to prioritize yourself, to take care of yourself, and put yourself first. People don't always like when you put yourself first. And if anything, working on yourself sort of proves who your true friends are. People who support you, who care about you, who are rooting you on, versus people who are just benefiting off of you and your energy will be salty or upset to see you prioritizing yourself. So mentally, physically, all of it, protect your peace. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about movement. My relationship with movement has been the hardest thing for me to figure out. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I've never been a super active person. I was never, gym class was my least favorite class. I've just never been good at sports and activities like that. I've tried lots of things over the course of my life, but nothing has stuck up until recently. This has been a couple of years in the making, which I know might sound intimidating, but it is the truth. I guess to bring it all the way back, it's probably 3 years ago when I moved to New York. Living in a walkable city without a car has really forced me to be a little more fit than sedentary. Instead of sitting in a car to drive places, I walk everywhere. So that small switch in my life was sort of the baseline to get this body moving. And then about a year and a half ago, I consistently started doing yoga. Fell in love with the practice. I fell in love with the studio I go to. I fell in love with the people. It's slow and controlled, but you work up a sweat. There's so many different varieties of class, and you can really manipulate it to be what you need that day. I go to a class nearly every single day, probably more realistically, 5 days a week. Getting comfortable with the studio, going to so many yoga classes has really broke my anxiety about taking workout classes. That might sound silly to some of you, but I am a very anxious girl, so I just didn't know what to expect from these workout classes, and it's not always fun to be the weakest person in the room. But now that I'm deeper into my journey, I know that nobody is paying attention to you. Everyone, and I mean truly everyone, the instructor, the other class participants are focused on themselves. No one cares about you, babe. If I do ever notice a beginner in one of my yoga classes, my only feeling towards them is excitement. I hope that they find love for yoga and the studio the same way that I have. Going to this variety of workout classes with different instructors, it emboldened me to try new mediums. So I recently tried a couple of Pilates classes. When I was in Boston visiting my best friend, I tried a few Legree classes, which is like a more intense strengthening version of Pilates. And tomorrow morning, I'm trying another new studio near me. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of combination will be best for me, but I've really enjoyed trying these new classes. And they're hard. They challenge you no matter what skill level you are. The only time I really feel embarrassed while working out is running. I am so sincerely tragic at running. I run, I walk, I run, I walk, I run, I walk. But it is yet another challenge for me to continue to work on. More recently, I've been actively trying to challenge myself to harder yoga classes. So at my studio, they offer sculpt classes. So you put weights on your wrists, on your ankles. They have like strengthening bands, and it's a lot more strengthening work. And those classes whip my tushy. But I feel so much stronger after them, which is a really exciting feeling. I feel like these classes specifically have been the game changer for me looking more toned. You're targeting specific muscles with these weights, so strengthening is even more specific. And now, what I've been waiting to talk to you about this entire video. Walking! Guys, I love to walk. I'm obsessed with walking. On any single normal day, I probably average anywhere from 10K to 20K steps a day. Of course, that has gradually increased over time. Originally, I would try and walk 10K steps a few days a week, and then every day, and now nearly every day, upwards of 20K. Walking has been an especially important tool for weight loss. It is the kind of movement and cardio that I can maintain, that I can show up and do every single day. I have always been a walker. I love walking. It is a great form of stress relief, cognitive therapy, and of course, movement. But not until these past few months have I really made a concerted effort to be hitting that 10 to 20K steps a day. I cannot emphasize this enough. My walks are my favorite part of my day. It's my chance to reconnect with myself, to see nature, to see people. My walks are truly euphoric, and I feel like I can't even convey how amazing they are. I'll just be listening to my music, smiling. Little babies will wave at me. Little dogs will run by in their booties. My walks make me feel grateful for living. They remind me of the little things. They help me slow down. There's just so many wholesome moments that remind me why life is worth living. Of course, walking this much takes a lot of time. I'm talking 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day. I mostly listen to music. I am a big music girl. Sometimes I will listen to podcasts or audiobooks, or even just scroll on TikTok as I walk. I also do a lot of work for my social clients as well as myself on my phone. So I might be editing a video, responding to emails, etc. Do I break up my walks? On my longer walk days, I typically do. For example, I go to Trader Joe's for my groceries since it's a little less expensive. Going to Trader Joe's and back is already 4,000 steps. Sometimes I do it all at once, but every single day is different. I do have to admit that it helps a lot to live in a walkable city. There are still ways to prioritize walking in the suburbs, but from having lived in both, I definitely prefer the city. It's just made for foot traffic. My routine is I walk to my favorite park, which is about a mile away, and there is a track there, so I just circle the track for hours and hours and hours, and it's fun. I see the same people every day. I see the same dogs. What I love about walking is that it's nearly accessible to everyone. It's slow, it's easy, and it's totally up to you how long you want to go for. The hardest part about movement is getting yourself up and out the door. The secret is to just throw on your clothes, throw on your sneakers, and go. I truly can't speak more to the benefits of walking. Just get out there, become a walker, and you will see what I mean. Since I've increased my walking endurance so much, it has given me the motivation to try some more runs. And what I have found with running is the slower you go, the more you can run. Initially, I was sort of sprinting because that's what I thought running was, but that tires you out real quick. Also, in general, with movement and with walking, you need some good equipment. I noticed that was something that sort of stalled me or held me back from making more progress, so I like to wear biker shorts or workout shorts to walk in like a tank top. Also, footwear, super, super important if you're walking a lot. I wear the Hoka Solimars. I'll link those below as well. Also, socks. I love Bombas. Bombas are my favorite sock. They're a little more pricey, but they are the absolute best. Knowing that walking does take up so much time, I do want to remind you that I did work a 9 to 5 where I was in office every single day, and of course, you're a lot more tired. It's a lot harder to fit that exercise in. I've never tried this, but I've seen a lot of people use walking pads at their desks or just like in their room to get those extra steps in. There are solutions, you just have to be a little more creative with it. Overall, what I've learned about movement is that it is lubricant for your mind, body, and soul. I find days where I am completely sedentary, don't get in any walks at all, my mind is racing, my anxiety is through the roof, and I just have a hard time processing my life. As humans, as animals, we are made to move. The more you do, the easier it will get, and the more you'll look forward to it, and it actually becomes a part of your routine. My fitness routine is still something that is a work in progress. I'm still learning about myself and learning what my body likes and where I want to challenge myself versus not. But overall, this has been a big, big lifestyle change for me, and I feel really proud of myself. I want to feel stronger, I want to look stronger, and I feel like I have accomplished that. My advice to you is be patient. It takes time and consistency. And fitness is not one size fits all. You need to find what works for you. This is what personally works for me. I hope you have found this video useful. If you are new here, please subscribe, like, leave a comment. You know what to do. And I will be linking some of my fitness favorites below, so be sure to go and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you next video. Bye.